The bold and the beautiful spoilers indicate that Scott Clifton will remain on the show this week, but his character Liam Spencer will face a long and difficult path to recovery. Not only did Liam take a bullet from Luna Nozawa, but he was fighting an aggressive tumor and had only a few days to live before being shot. Dr. John Finnegan's patient may win both battles, but that doesn't mean Liam will be the same person his friends and family knew. In fact, he may be unfamiliar with all of them. Here's what's coming up this summer on Bold and Beautiful, with brand fresh spoilers below. Finn and Bridget race to save Liam. It's been a long time since anyone on The Bold and the Beautiful suffered from amnesia, so fans are anticipating a dramatic memory loss storyline. Liam Spencer is the ideal candidate, given that he was recently shot and has been battling cancer. According to the internet, Finn and Bridget Forrester may perform a miracle by either removing the tumor or curing the malignancy while operating on his gunshot wound. The science behind it doesn't make sense, but The Bold and the Beautiful is known for stretching the truth when it comes to medical and legal plots on the daytime soap. However, there will be a catch in preserving Scott Clifton's character. Has Liam Spencer lost his memory? According to reports on The Bold and the Beautiful, Liam Spencer may wake up with terrible amnesia. If Finn and the doctors have to remove anything from Liam's skull, there is a danger they will also remove critical sections of his brain with the tumor that impact his memory. Could Liam wake up and not remember Steffi Forrester or Hope Logan? Or worse, may he wake up and believe he is still married to one of his ex-wives? According to spoilers from The Bold and the Beautiful, Poppy Nozawa appears to have been driven into a corner. Poppy has been pushed into a corner. That's because many people believe the writing is misogynistic toward Poppy, portraying her as a single mother who raised her daughter, Luna Nozawa, to be a murderer. Many show critics argue that many single mothers should be offended by this. Apparently, the writers are mainly concerned with a man's influence on a child's life. Was it actually the case for Luna? Of course, the internet had a lot to say about the situation. Some have even said, "I am not Luna, but each child is born with their own mental health that has not yet developed, and who knows which one will flip and which will not. We have no way to tell. There are people who are horribly neglected and live a happy life, and there are those who continue to be precisely like where they came from, with a violent mental health." The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers. What's next for Poppy? Another viewer of the show stated, when Luna first started working as an intern at FC, and Lee kept harassing her to leave Ella, Luna called her mother in San Francisco, who both admitted to residing at Luna's grandfather's house. I'm very sure Luna also told RJ that. Then Poppy flew down to defend her daughter from Lee. That is not a mother who is doing drugs and neglecting her adult daughter. They really rewrote history, and I'll never forget how both initially appeared on the show. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers. Poppy has been pushed into a corner. There was also the following comment. And it would be much more interesting. Poppy and Lee entangled in a love triangle, vying for Jack and each having a child with him, would be far more soapy. This Finn Poppy twist was always a terrible decision on so many levels. So there you have it, guys. The Bold and the Beautiful airs weekdays on CBS. Check the local listings for times. In the meantime, please share your ideas in the comments box below. According to The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers and updates, Hope Logan and Carter Walton may be on the verge of splitting up instead of having a fairy tale ending. Even if Carter is determined to make things right this time and keep his vow of being a nice guy, he may still lose hope. Secrets have a way of coming out just when you don't want or expect. Deacon Sharp appears concerned that Hope will face tragedy, but he is making an effort to fulfill his daughter's wishes. This is why Deacon recently spoke with Carter and essentially offered his okay for the engagement. Naturally, Deacon reiterated that Carter should not make a mistake, but secrets have a habit of leaking out when you least expect them, and Daphne may have one. Unfortunately, Carter appears to be planning to do just that if Daphne Rose comes to town. Fans of B&B know that Steffi Forrester is eager for Daphne to visit Los Angeles to help with the launch of her new fragrance. Daphne's return could spell disaster for Carter and Hope's engagement. Despite Daphne's refusal to Steffi's request, she may alter her decision shortly. There is little doubt that Hope and Carter have benefited from Daphne's absence. However, if Daphne returns, it could jeopardize Carter and Hope's wedding plans, especially if she has been covertly involved with Carter. Carter sought consolation in Daphne's companionship after overhearing Hope and misinterpreting her relationship with Liam Spencer. Carter and Daphne may have had an off-screen meeting before he reconnected with Hope. Daphne's dirty little secret. If that's the case, Daphne may return to LA with a sensational secret that might jeopardize Hope and Carter's newest adventure together. If Daphne is expecting a child, the tension will increase. In any scenario, Hope will be upset if Carter has been keeping his affair with Daphne from her. Although Carter and Hope were on a break at the time, that does not excuse his lack of honesty in her opinion. Ultimately, Daphne's reappearance could disrupt Carter and Hope's wedding plans. Hope may decide to terminate the engagement, forcing Carter to confront a future without her. According to the bold and the beautiful spoilers, some startling revelation regarding Daphne may lead to Hope and Carter's eventual split, so we'll keep you updated on any potential romantic calamities. Liam Spencer had always been at the center of many dramatic twists in Los Angeles, but no one could have guessed what came next. The famous face, known for switching between Hope and Steffi, found his entire identity in jeopardy following a horrible catastrophe. The fall appeared modest at first, a slip at Spencer Publications' new rooftop lounge, but it turned out to be much more dangerous. Doctors diagnosed Liam with a catastrophic head injury, which left him comatose for several hours. And when he finally awoke, the world around him made no sense. He gazed at Bill, Wyatt, Hope, and Steffi as if they were strangers. He squinted in perplexity as names were repeated to him. None of them elicited even the faintest familiarity. Hope held his hand, tears in her eyes, silently begging him to remember her. She softly reminded him of their daughter Beth and the love they had battled for. But Liam's blank face dashed any hopes of an immediate reunion. He glanced at her perplexed as if seeing her for the first time. Her heart broke. She wasn't ready to lose him again, especially not like this. Doctors told the family that Liam's memory loss could be temporary, but there were no assurances. Amnesia, particularly following a traumatic brain injury, might resolve in days, weeks, or never. The uncertainty rattled everyone in his path. Bill, ever the domineering patriarch, attempted to downplay the seriousness by yelling instructions at specialists and hiring private neurologists. But even his power and money couldn't repair what had gone wrong within Liam's psyche. Despite being rattled, Steffi handled the issue with measured sympathy. Her concern was for both Liam and Hope. She could see Hope's pain all over her face. Even though they were frequent enemies, Steffi saw how terrible this was for her. Hope had finally achieved the level of steadiness with Liam that had before seemed beyond of grasp. Everything was now disintegrating. Steffi reminded herself to step carefully, not only because of Hope, but also because her daughter Kelly would be affected. Kelly's father no longer recognized her, and Steffi didn't know how to explain this to a child. Wyatt, on the other hand, was completely distraught. Watching his siblings struggle to remember even the most basic information was heartbreaking. He attempted humor, inside jokes, and recollections from his upbringing. Nothing worked. Every attempt was received with the same perplexed expression. It was as if Liam had been erased and replaced with someone completely different. Someone who had no connection to the life he had created. As the days went, the stress at the hospital increased. Hope stayed by Liam's bedside for hours, reading to him and showing him images from their time together. She made a collage of memories, including photos from their wedding, Beth's infant pictures, trips they had gone, and situations that should have evoked emotion. Liam would occasionally stare at a photo for an extended period of time, as if something about it was tugging on the edge of his consciousness, but the moment would always pass before anything substantial could develop. Everyone had different ideas for how to help him. Bill wanted to push Liam hard, exposing him to as much stimuli as possible and forcing his mind to reset. Hope believed in gentle and patient reinforcement. Steffi proposed that he stay at the Cliff home, where many of his memories were created. Ridge and Brooke also joined in, offering emotional support and their own viewpoints, but no one had the answers. Liam was perplexed, terrified, and more frustrated. He felt trapped in someone else's life. Strangers kept telling him they knew, loved, and needed him, but he couldn't feel it. The pressure became unbearable. He began to retreat emotionally, resisting further memory retrieval attempts. The feeling of helplessness dragged on him. His instincts, however, weakened, made him wonder if any of them could be trusted. After all, how could he know who he truly was if he couldn't recall anything? In a moment of desperation, he requested to see legal documents such as his driver's license, work records, and marriage certificates. He regarded them calmly, as if he were a detective looking for proof. He accepted the facts offered to him, but they did not provide comfort. Paper did not evoke memories. Emotions could not be compelled to exist. Meanwhile, Hope was forced to confront a tough truth. The Liam she loved might never return, not quite. And she had to decide whether she could start over, loving a version of Liam who didn't remember anything about their shared history. Could she rebuild her life with a man who didn't know her? Or was it time to say goodbye? Steffi found herself wondering the same thing. Although her romantic relationship with Liam had cooled, she still felt obligated to him. She recalled the years of love, grief, and development they had experienced together. She couldn't help but wonder. If Liam was suddenly a blank slate, might he fall in love with someone again? And if so, who will it be? Dr. Ava Linden, a neuropsychiatrist, enters the picture, complicating matters further. She specialized in instances like Liam's and was brought in by Bill to oversee Liam's treatment plan. Dr. Linden, a brilliant and composed individual, instantly took over and implemented innovative cognitive therapy procedures. But her bond with Liam grew stronger than anyone thought. She didn't treat him like a broken version of a man, but like a guy with the ability to reinvent himself. Liam replied to her. He grinned for the first time since he awoke. He opened up. He laughed. It was not what Hope or Steffi had hoped for, but it was real. And it made them uncomfortable. Dr. Linden was not from Liam's past, but she was swiftly becoming a part of his present, and perhaps even his future. As Liam resumed his therapy, fragments of recollection began to resurface, but not in the way everyone had planned. He remembered isolated details, running on the beach, coffee with Wyatt, a piano melody from Brooke's house, but not the individuals or the context in which they occurred. These bits only served to frustrate him further. They felt like echoes of a life he didn't quite recognize as his own. Tensions flared one evening when Hope spotted Liam and Dr. Linden in a quiet, intimate moment. They weren't kissing, but they were laughing and sat close together, their hands almost touching. Hope felt a pang of betrayal, even though her rational mind understood it was unjust. Liam wasn't cheating. He couldn't remember their love. But her heart said otherwise. That confrontation sent shockwaves throughout the group. Steffi, too, began to reconsider her attitude. Perhaps they were all attempting to bring back the man they knew, when they should have been assisting Liam in discovering who he wanted to be now. The realization was sobering. One afternoon, while Liam stood by a hospital window, watching the clouds move across the sky, he turned to Hope and quietly whispered, "Do you think I was a good man?" It devastated her heart yet again. But she smiled and gently responded, "You were the best kind of man, one who kept trying, no matter how many mistakes he made." That answer stayed with Liam. It didn't evoke memories, but it did elicit something else. Hope. He thought that it might not matter if he remembered everything precisely. Maybe he could start afresh and yet construct something real. Liam gradually resumed his participation in life over the next few weeks. He went walks with Kelly and Beth. He accompanied Wyatt to Spencer Publications to watch meetings. He let Hope and Steffi share their stories, even though he couldn't connect with them emotionally yet. He remained far from Dr. Linden, understanding the emotional turmoil her presence had caused, but he never questioned the trust she had helped him build in himself. When the physicians approved Liam for outpatient care, he was no longer the same person who had awoken in that hospital bed. He was different, less impulsive and more thoughtful. He might never fully remember his past, but he was beginning to plan for the future. And in that silent, uncertain place between grief and rebirth, Liam Spencer began a new chapter, one that would challenge the bounds of love, loyalty, and self-knowledge.